So I wanted to show you yet another way to put in the lining. In this case, we have a kilt, the old Seaforth kilt that, well, it's a new kilt. It's my Centennial tartan that I designed. And the depth of the fill is such, and plus the radius is such that I simply don't have a piece of cloth wide enough. And the radius additionally would create, if I tried to do this with just gathering along the top as I've done elsewhere, we would have a ridiculous amount of bagginess here. So what I've done is I've laid out the straight edge of the cloth rather than cut it to shape along the radius and pin it in shape, plus about a 3/8 overlap, which is the seam allowance, which is to say when I turn it over, that the seam allowance is the amount of cloth that's going to be turned over and hidden underneath when we sew. So yeah, so a straight piece that's been radiused and pinned to place. I've made sure that our overlaps are sufficient on both sides, pinned it all down. But in this case, I've made 2 folds facing inwards to gather up that that extra bagginess. So what I'm going to do here, I've just cut this radius to bring it down to the top of the kilt for that slightly greater seam radius, or sorry, seam allowance. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start sewing here and then around to just short of this crease, and then I'm going to sew this crease bottom to top, sew crease sewn bottom to top, and then complete, and then carry on with the buttonhole. So it'll have the requisite slight bagginess, which I prefer, which again helps keep the shirt tucked in, but it's not going to be ridiculously untidy with too much cloth looking like a baggy sail. So there we go. I'll report in at the end of this.